That is for sale. This will be for sale. The LS Porsche is for sale. The Cobra Mustang's for sale. And the Caprice is for sale too. And once I fix it, the CL will be for sale too. Guys, unfortunately, I have to sell a few cars because, well, to be perfectly honest with you, I need the money. So in this video, I'm going to give you an update on everything because I'm literally right in the middle of working. So what better time than right now? And I'll let you know which cars are for sale. We might actually sell one or two in this video. I think, maybe. Someone's coming in. I'll talk to you guys in a few minutes about why I need the money and why I need to sell some of these cars. But let's start off with the daily driver, which is up on the quick jacks with parts here. All right, so let me show you what's going on. Well, I don't know if I'll be able to show you, but there is play right now. If I go side to side and there's nothing going this way, and both fronts have this little shimmy. And what I've discovered is that the wheel bearings are just worn out, 155,000 miles, pretty normal. I kind of wish I did them when I had the brakes apart, but you know, it happens. So we'll be doing some wheel bearings on the Taurus, and one of the tie rods in the back is also loose. And that's really about it. This car is fantastic. I've put, I don't know, maybe 500-600 miles on it since the last video, and everything's perfect. There's really not a whole lot left to do to the old SHO. And honestly, that's exactly what you want from your daily driver. So I'm sure this won't be the last time I have to make a repair. It is an EcoBoost powered Ford Taurus. And as I've explained, these things do have quite a few problems, but I'll take wheel bearings any day. That's easy. Now let's just get this out of the way, guys. This is sad. I mean, this stuff isn't sad. I got basically all the parts. I'm sure I'm missing some odds and ends, and I finally got the engine back from the machine shop. The cylinder heads are done. We have new cams. There's an aftermarket blower and millions of other parts and gaskets. No excuse anymore. I had a decent excuse for about a year, which is 2 machine shops hijacked the engine.
As soon as I'm through sitting here having some coffee, I'm gonna start working on them.
But I did get it back a few months ago. And I mean, honestly, I just have so many projects, and I walk in and I look at this one, and at this point I've kind of forgotten where everything goes on the engine. It's not fresh in my mind anymore. And I'm like, man, there are so many other cars that are closer to being done. So this is just, you know, a back burner car. Just be straight up honest with you. There's nothing really holding me back from working on it other than like 12 other projects. Yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna get to the Lightning. I really would love that rack back. I've learned to just live with one, so that's kind of cool. But the Lightning, I just need to buckle down. That's about it. Ford SVT Lightning is here to stay though. It has the custom LSC SVT plates. So don't worry, I will eventually have that truck running. All right, hopefully you guys are gonna see a video on this very soon. I'm about 50% done with the next video, and the supercharger is off. I'm trying to get this thing ready for the dyno right now, and I've run into some belt issues. I did pulley down for more boost, and yeah, just couldn't find the right belt. It was just yeah, you'll see in the next video. But the Cobra Mustang had a new transmission put in last video, so Jason flew out all the way from Buffalo, New York, helped me rebuild this entire transmission. I've done a bunch of little things, and now we're about to get it tuned, and I've driven it like probably 150 miles at this point, which is a lot. That was like the first maiden voyage with this car. Again, you guys will see it in the next video, but fingers crossed, people. I am so nervous right now. I literally have the dyno today. So yeah, I'm always nervous with unknown vehicles and dynos, but yeah, that's the update on the Cobra. You guys should see it soon. Well, and just like that, I mean, the next day, the Cobra is back on the ground with a blower, and I cannot wait for you guys to see the next 2 videos on this car. I'm almost done with one of them, but it is going to be sold, and I'm pretty sure I have a buyer lined up. It's gonna be kind of cool, a feel-good story. So anyway, Cobra will be for sale too. Next on cars that I'm going to sell is my beautiful Supercharged C4. I'll show you this one, and then I will tell you guys why I have to sell all these cars, and there's a few more you guys will see in this video. It's nothing bad though. I'm not gonna like clickbait you guys into something where I'm all sad and I'm forced to sell or I'm gonna die. It's actually really good. Just like the deal I got on the C4, I found this at a salvage auction. I had no idea that it was supercharged, and I popped the hood, found the supercharger, found a bunch of other modifications, and then I bought this car for, I think it was like $3,300. Clean title, 93, 40th anniversary with 69,000 miles, you know, and the supercharger. So I've gone through everything on this car. It's got an entire new OptiSpark system, which is the big Achilles heel on the LT1 engine. I fixed up a bunch of oil leaks, and then ProCharger, drove out here in a ProCharged C8, and we installed a brand new ProCharger, even though it didn't need it. They wanted like the old one back because it was like historical to them. It was one of the first ProCharger kits on an LT1 Corvette. So that was really, really neat. And then the cherry on top was I filmed with Sung Kang from Fast and the Furious with this car. And so we worked on it a little bit and then reunited the previous longtime owner with the car. No, he did not want to buy it back or anything. He didn't have the room in the garage, but it was just cool to take him for a ride in the car. Once again, it was his baby. He named it Ruby, you know, like 20 years ago. So anyway, the C4 is for sale. I actually had someone that was gonna buy it, and I'll never do this again, but I held the car for a couple months without a deposit, and then you guys know what happened. The guy bailed, okay? So I'm not doing that anymore. If you guys wanna buy a car, you gotta be super serious about it. So I am asking $16,000 for this one, and yeah, it's ready to go. It's ready to rock. It's in great shape. It runs and drives beautifully. LegitStreetCars@gmail.com if you're interested in my supercharged Corvette. All right, so why am I selling a bunch of my cars? Well, it's because I want a bigger shop. So I moved in here about 3 years ago. Welcome to my new shop. It's the first shop I've ever bought. It was a big deal for me. I also quit my job around the same time and hired Max, my first full-time employee. So a lot was going on, and this is what I could get. It's a 3,000 square foot shop, but you know, that includes the office. So about 2,200 square feet of usable shop space. And that also includes this wash bay. So the actual mechanical shop is not that big, and it's pretty narrow. I love this place. I'm super appreciative. This wash bay is great, and the heating and electricity costs are manageable because it's so small. But it is very tight, and I have accumulated a lot of cars that I'm keeping, and I don't have anywhere to put the finished cars because I'm out here grinding and getting dirty, and these cars don't deserve to be there. I would also one day like to get my own dyno, and then we are expanding, you know, the detail products and merch area, and this place is just packed. So it has simply just gotten too small. But with the crazy interest rates that are going on right now, and the fact that I live in Chicago, but you know, the Chicagoland area in general is just very expensive. I need as much like liquid cash as possible to put down because of these rates. So I'm not gonna stop buying cars. I still have to buy cars for my business, so that's not gonna stop. But any cars that I am done with and that aren't forever cars, they gotta go. So I'm ready to go if a building pops up, because like this one, it came out on the market and I bought it like the next day because they get snatched up immediately. So I need to be ready to go. I don't know when this will happen. It could be a year from now. I don't know. I want it to be a nice shop. I'm not gonna like, you know, rush into this and buy something I don't really want. It's something that's on my mind that I'm searching for every single day. So hopefully one day we will have an XL version of Legit Street Quarters, and you know, if you guys wanna help me do that, you can buy one of my cars, or you can buy some shop wipes. We're having a big sale. I haven't promoted my shop wipes in a few months because they sold out immediately, but we just got new stock. Here's just some of it, but we fulfill everything here in-house, and these shop wipes are 100% made in the USA. This was super important to me, and it's very difficult to do, but they're made right here in Illinois. I wanted to get this formulation done just right, so I had tested wipes for a couple of years before we developed these. We've sold over 1,000 of these, and the reviews are amazing because they simply work, and now you can buy them in multiples to save even more money, and we're having a 15% off sale. I'll leave the link down below. These will probably sell out again, and let me show you why. Say you're working on your car and your hands start off like this, and then they turn into this, kind of a worst case scenario, super nasty timing cover. But oh no, what are you gonna do? You don't have running water in your garage. You can't wash this in your sink or your wife will kill you, but you bought some Legit Street Cars wipes. And what's great about these is that they have a textured side on the inside, and a lot of other wipes have sand in the solution. So after you're done cleaning your hand, you have sand in your fingernails. It's really annoying. So we built that into the wipe. So this is a rough textured side and a smooth side for a polish. But anyway, I wanna show you how good these work, and they're very gentle on your skin. I mean, look at that. It's like one wipe and the nastiest of the nastiest stuff is gone. I mean, they're just so quick and effective. It smells good, and there is a little bit of a moisturizer in there too, so you're not gonna dry your hands out. But look at that. That is real time, super clean. And then if you need to, you can polish it out on the nice smooth side, which is like as smooth as a baby's butt. Look at that. So we started off with a hand that looked like this, and now we have a hand that looks better than it did before. And something else is that these shop wipes are really big, and we use a lot of solutions. So after you're done with your hands, you can wipe down all of your arms, and then you can clean your counter, you can clean all of your tools with one wipe and throw it in the garbage and you are done. And this really does solve the problem that most guys have where they don't have running water in their garage. But even if you do, you're gonna waste water, soap, you're gonna need a drying towel. And with this, you let it air dry, it's perfect. It won't dry out your skin. You guys are gonna love them. And thanks so much to everybody who's ordered these already and anything else from LegitStreetCars.com. We fulfill it all in-house. I test everything for years to make sure it's good quality. And I really appreciate your support. So with that, let's continue on with this update. We have quite a few more cars to go that some I'm keeping and some I'm selling. This one's a little sad. Not that I'm selling it. I'm not selling my Turbo Trans Am. I don't care if I don't have enough money to eat. I will eat dirt before I sell this car. What's sad on the old Ram Air WS6 is how dirty it is because I had it outside and it started storming and then I brought it in and let it dry without washing it. But luckily it's white, so from here it looks mint. But you guys know this car from all the other updates over the last 7 years. I've had it now for over 20 years of my life, which is insane to even think about. I started my YouTube channel. One of my first videos was on installing the CTS-V Brembo brakes on this car. CTS-V Gen 1 Brembo brake calipers. And then I took you through going to the track and blowing the engine up. And here's what I saw when I dropped the oil pan. I'm not gonna lie, my heart dropped when I saw this. And then rebuilding the engine. And yeah, definitely check out those videos if you wanna see the very early days. Like I had no idea what I was doing. I was very, very, very nervous. But the Turbo Trans Am is here to stay. In the last video, I put an oilless and waterless turbo on it. It's pretty wild. And this car runs and drives great, but there are a few little things I wanna do, mainly put a 6-speed manual transmission in it, get rid of the drag racing suspension, probably some different wheels, and just kind of make it more of an adult version of a legit street car now. Like I started building this when I was like 18, 19, and you guys know how that goes. Drag race, drag race, drag race. I'm not doing a whole lot of that anymore, so I just want to make it still a ridiculously fast car. I mean, it'll probably dyno out at like 900 wheel with the manual trans, but just something that I can enjoy a little bit more now. So anyway, TA staying with me forever. And for a couple of other cars that are staying with me forever, we are back at the original Legit Street quarters here at my home. This is where the entire channel started, and I filmed like my first 5 years of videos. We got my first 9-second quarter-mile pass in the Trans Am, the old toolbox with a couple of LS cams. Here's one of the magazines my TA was in back in the day. And you can see I've been into legit street cars my whole life. 10-second daily driver. Here's one of the quotes from the magazine. My goal in building this car was to have a true 10-second street car. I wanted a car that I could realistically get in, take it a long trip with no issues, get decent fuel economy, but also wanted to be able to drive it to the track while listening to a CD and blasting the AC, running with trailered race cars, and then driving home. Here's kind of another funny quote. I use it to travel to car shows, to the drag strip, and for whatever else I need it. I've even moved furniture with it. It's truly a daily driver. That's true. The TA is very usable. Being a hatchback, you put the back seats down, you can fit whatever you want in there. And yes, I did have a different last name back in the day. Super long story short, but my dad left when I was young, and I decided to take my mom's last name because we found out we were having a boy, and that's the last name I wanted to pass down. Okay, and these are the cars that I want to pass down. This one, the E55 AMG station wagon. My daughters absolutely love this. This is by far their favorite car in the fleet. What's your favorite car, girls?
The wagon!
And they love it because of the rear-facing jump seat. The headrests are missing at the moment, but this is where they want to be at all times, and I'm so glad. One of the best things I've ever done is gotten the top of the bumper covered with clear PPF, so obviously you can't see it, but every once in a while when they get out, although I've told them don't step on the black, they still do, but it is very well protected. And they just love cruising back here, and we kind of play a game when I'm backing up that they're my backup camera, and they go beep, 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 and they start beeping faster as I get closer to something. It's just something we do. So my E55 didn't always look like this. I picked it up in Florida, immediately took it to the Amelia Island Concourse event for a few days, hung out with a bunch of my YouTuber friends in it, potentially broke the rear suspension maybe. And then once I got it back to Chicago, I started on modifications to make it go faster, and then a whole slew of cosmetic modifications like removing most of the panels on the car, having them painted, and then like a 50-hour paint correction. I lowered it as well, put on some different wheels, and then me and the guys at Modern Masters embarked on making this like a 700 horsepower wagon by installing a VRP Whipple supercharger kit and long tube headers, and this thing just absolutely rips. OJ over at Fluid Motor Union did the final dyno on it, and on his super stingy dyno, it put down like over 500 wheel. So like on a dyno jet, this is like 600 wheel all day long. It runs like an absolute beast. And yeah, there's really not much left to do on the E55. It hangs out here and I take it out honestly quite frequently, especially with my kids. Another car that I won't be selling anytime soon and I'll probably keep forever is my 1986 Buick Grand National. And yes, at the moment, a lot of my cars need a wash. This one got stuck in the rain too, and so did this one. Black cars are very, very difficult to keep clean. So I actually found the Grand National in a storage unit in Wisconsin. It had been sitting in there for about 10 years and it was in pretty rough shape. It didn't have the Grand National wheels. The paint was really bad. The engine had a rod knock, and I spent about 8 hours in a parking lot just trying to get it to run so I could drive it back home to Chicago, which I eventually did, and then embarked on a ton of work by fixing up the engine for very, very cheap. This thing has been perfect ever since I did the rod bearings. So I was able to polish out the crank and fix the rod knock, and it's been like, I don't know, 4,000 miles since then, and it's still perfect. Then of course I went down the rabbit hole of modifications to make it faster, and it also got like a 40-hour paint correction with Jason. You guys have seen Jason in a bunch of my videos. He's awesome. And this is another one that's pretty much done. There's really not a whole lot left to do on it. One day I'll do the body mounts. There's like 20 rubber body mounts that just wear out with age. They're not affecting anything, but one day I'll do those. You gotta literally remove the body from the frame to do it. I just keep on thinking, like, if this engine ever grenades and I have to do an engine, I'll do a while you're in there and remove the body from the frame, do the engine, all the mounts and stuff. But right now the car just runs and drives beautifully, and I probably drive it more than any of my other, you know, cool weekend cars. But yeah, it's got the LSC GN plate, so definitely no plans on getting rid of this. Another car I'm thinking about getting the LSC plates for, which means I'm keeping it for a long time, would be my C63 AMG. This is a 2014 Edition 507. I'm thinking either LSC C63 or LSC AMG. Probably C63 though, so I can leave AMG like more open, you know, because that applies to so many different cars. But this thing is wild. I got it out of California, sight unseen. It was shipped to my shop, $27,000, which is a great deal for a clean title Edition 507. It was running rough when I first got it, but after doing some maintenance and a good old-fashioned Italian tune-up, which that term is officially approved, at least by my Italian cousin Giuseppe. Ti devo chiedere permesso per usare questo frase.
Yes, you can. You can tell.
Yeah, bravo. And all it means is you take the car out and beat on it really bad. This thing had been sitting for a little bit, but we cleared everything up. It ran like a top. So of course, I treated it with, well, another VRP Whipple supercharger kit with the guys from Modern Masters. We turned this car into an absolute monster in like 5 days, removed the entire engine, took it all apart, did head studs, did aftermarket camshafts, which are amazing from VRP. I highly recommend those, and a bunch of other things, exhaust, of course. And the first run on the dyno on a base tune with like 10 PSI, it did 806 wheel horsepower. So I do drive this every once in a while. It's a funny car because it'll just burn the tires or activate traction control really at any speed. It's just a monster. And it runs and drives great. Just a couple little things that we're gonna do. Craig and Rusty, we're gonna meet up at some point, I don't know, out in West Virginia or here. We're gonna redo a couple things on the fuel system, put larger injectors in it, and re-dyno and see if we can hit like 850. And I do believe this is the highest horsepower M156 powered C63 in the country. I don't know, let me know. 806 wheel with essentially a stock bottom end and a blower. So I don't know, that might be a national record. Oh, and check it out. The Cobra is at my house. Teaser, it did really, really good on the dyno. The thing runs awesome. I've put like a few hundred miles on it. So you guys will see everything that it took to get to that point in the next Cobra Mustang video. It wasn't easy at all. I was ripping my hair out, what's kind of left of it I got a decent amount of hair, right? People give me crap, but it's going away slowly. But I did a lot of work on this Mustang to get it where it's at. We fine-tuned it perfectly. It's amazing. Something else that's been amazing is my wife's 2015 supercharged Cadillac Escalade. I did steal this from her for a little while because I bought her a Tesla Model X Plaid. The Plaid didn't work out. We had it for 4 months. It was just too small, and those Falcon gull wing doors, whatever they're called, in the winter, they're horrible. Like any amount of snow, and it thinks that the door is hitting something and it doesn't open. I'd be in line at my kid's school, like dropping them off with that car every once in a while, and I'd hit the button and it said obstruction, and then everybody's behind me waiting, and I'm here with this Falcon door doing a manual override, and it's going like super, super slow. Pain in the butt, got rid of it, put her back in the Escalade, and everything is good with the world. But I bought this thing a couple of years ago with 80,000 miles on it, and it was dealer maintained, one owner, really nice, from Florida. I immediately then told my wife that it was broken so I could bring it back to the shop. Hey babe. I have to take the Escalade to work again, but this time I got to keep it for like 2 days at the shop and install a gigantic supercharger over the course of 2 days. And then I took her out for a ride, kind of set up a camera in the truck and told her to floor it. And she had no idea that a supercharger, we added like a couple hundred horsepower. No! And on OJ's, again, super stingy dyno. This thing reads much lower than a dyno jet, so you can't really compare it to that. I think we did like 480 wheel, which is about 640 crank horsepower. It's just awesome. And now it's got like 103,000 miles with the blower. We took it to the track. My wife raced it. You had a good launch. And Trackhawks are fast. Beat on it, done burnouts, all sorts of stuff, and it's still going strong. Everything has been perfect with the truck, and I honestly couldn't be happier. And now that it's got over 100,000 and it's 2015, it's not really worth a whole lot, so we're gonna keep rocking, man. Like, this is one of those vehicles I think we're just gonna drive and drive and drive and drive. I mean, it's cosmetically in excellent condition. I underproofed the entire frame, of course, with the AMSOIL spray, so everything still looks brand new. There's just no reason to get rid of it. Other than that, we got a couple of electric scooters, a wagon. We have Green Ray, which is a go-kart that me and my kids built. We found a frame in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and then bought a really cheap but very powerful Harbor Freight engine, redid the brakes, put new tires on it, a bunch of stuff, got to fix the seat. We have had this thing like legit off-roading, and it is a monster. My littlest drives this guy, which I did soup up. If you guys didn't know this, if you take this little screw out, you get a whole nother gear. So from the factory, it only clicks twice. You get reverse and forward. Now we get 1, 2, and 3, and that's like super speed. It's awesome. We've turned this into the rocket building headquarters. So my son is big into building rockets. So this is that area now. And this is the wagon we carry the rocket stuff with to, you know, the totally legal designated rocket blasting off areas of Chicago. You can do that. Back at the shop for a couple more. Next up is my 2012 McLaren MP4-12C. Is it weird that I don't even really confidently know the name of this car? Yeah, I think I said it right, but it's just such a crazy name. And then eventually they just called them the 12Cs, but it's a 2012 McLaren. It's like the cheap one at this point, and mine has like 67,000 miles. I bought it from Watch JR Goa, so I flew into Kansas. I bought it for, what was it, 79 grand, I think? And then we drove it back, and it did have misfires. And I was able to fix those in a pretty cool way because this has a Nissan-derived engine. So I found out that the insanely expensive McLaren coils that are thousands of dollars are actually off of a Nissan Sentra, and I bought them at the local parts store for like $20 each. Fixed the misfires, did some spark plugs, and this thing was fixed, and it rips. So all I have left on the McLaren is actually in the back of the TA, because this is basically a pickup truck and can hold everything. But those are the brake rotors, and we have brake pads and a ridiculously expensive water pump. The brakes and the water pump were like $3,500 with a discount. And then I was just gonna have it retuned over at Cannonball, but it doesn't need any of this stuff. It's not like really pressing. The water pump has a tiny seep that would probably last another few years. And I've just been enjoying the car. I didn't think I was gonna have it this long. I figured I would just have it for like 6 months and then get rid of it, which is what a lot of people do with these kinds of cars. But I actually drive it. Like, I use this car, it's so much fun. And I just haven't gotten around to any of this, you know, because of the other cars are just more pressing. Like, this thing will just start and drive. It did have a bunch of lights on the dash, which was insane. The wipers were stuck on. All I did was replace the turn signal stalk, so I got the turn signal to work. And then the wipers were stuck on. I went through a rabbit hole of wiring diagrams and craziness. And then 2 weeks later, I just tried it. and it worked, and it's just always been fine now. And then Cannonball cleared out some traction control lights and stuff like that I couldn't do without the McLaren scanner, and that's it. It runs and drives beautifully. So eventually I will do this work, and eventually I will sell the McLaren, but not yet. I'm just driving it. It looks so pretty too. The Eclipse GSX. This is under the knife. If you guys were around for the last few videos, you know that it developed a head gasket leak after I did a timing belt job and a bunch of other stuff, and it's leaking oil. So right now the turbo manifold is off, and I've been disconnecting a bunch of stuff. I'm in the middle of this video right now of removing the cylinder head and doing a head gasket. I got my Eclipse out of Nevada, so although it doesn't look the best cosmetically because the paint is faded, the clear coat is gone and stuff like that, it has really good bones. All right, I know I've used that term a couple times, but this one, seriously, rust-free, in excellent condition. It's a great candidate for a restoration, which I'm kind of in the middle of. It's just one of those little side projects. Oh, and check this out. I got all new leather for the seats because they're just in rough shape. This thing has like 240,000 miles. And I did find an all OEM facelift Eclipse bumper and spoiler and everything. So the plan was to have the tune done, so it would be completed mechanically, and then it was gonna go under the knife as far as cosmetics, but then the head gasket. So I gotta do that, tune, and then cosmetics. Outside in the parking lot, we have a few vehicles that, well, they mostly stay outside because not everything can fit in there. I mean, there's a lot of room in there right now, but you know, just to work in the shop and move things around all the time, if it's loaded up, it just takes too much time. And the DeLorean's missing right now. That's a DeLorean Midwest. We'll get to that. But yeah, outside we have the van. I mean, not much of an explanation on why this thing is outside. It's not exactly perfect, and it is gigantic. This would take up a ton of room in the shop, but this is my 2012 3500 Chevy Express van. It is a 15-passenger van, and I did install a big Pro Charger on it. It has a built transmission, a billet torque converter. It does gnarly burnouts. Oh my gosh, dude. And I use this thing primarily to tow cars, haul parts, rescue vehicles, and everything in between. The kids love it. My wife doesn't really love it. I mean, it's kind of nasty in there, but it is just very useful. It tows just like a pickup, like 10,000 pounds. It was only $4,000 with a blown transmission. So imagine buying a 3500 Silverado of the same year, even with a couple 100,000 miles, it would cost you so much. I think the van is an awesome, awesome option. And then obviously everything is covered. If you take all the seats out, you can fit whatever you want back there. They are very underrated, and they've been the same for like 50 years. Chevy won't redesign them because they're perfect. This is a tough one. My 2012 Chevy Caprice PPV. I absolutely love this car. I bought it like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago at this point out of Florida. It's got no rust, it's beautiful. It had no issues at all, but I dropped the engine anyway and deleted the very problematic active fuel management or displacement on demand with all the lifter issues. Put a gigantic camshaft in it, some really nice long tube headers. I had the heads reworked so they have LS3 valves in them, a different intake and all sorts of stuff. Had it tuned on the dyno. I think it did like 460 wheel. And then I went and added a nitrous system to it as well. And that's it. I did that many years ago, and it's been perfect ever since. It runs and drives beautifully. It sounds amazing. But to be quite honest with you, with all the other cars and a lot of them which are completed now and run and drive, I don't drive the Caprice all that much. And because I need to free up money, I'm gonna sell it. I'm gonna sell it, which makes me very sad. So I'm gonna ask $16,000 for the Caprice. So you can email me at legitstreetcars@gmail.com if you're interested. But this will take a little bit of time for me to actually sell it because Illinois is insane. And because I bought this out of Florida, after I got the title in my name and did everything, totally normal, clean title, you know, car, just a normal car, they sent me a thing and they're like, oh, we're issuing you a flood title because it was in Florida during a hurricane. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're like, well, you have to get an affidavit by the previous owner that it wasn't in a flood. I'm like, well, the previous owner was a police department. So I called them and no one would sign this thing. They were like, who do you want to sign? Like a random officer? I'm like, I don't know. Like, just anyone. And I was on the phone for days, could not get anyone over there to sign anything. So now I guess I have to go to a new car dealer and they can sign off on it or something like that. I don't know. It's a stupid, stupid thing, but they sent me a flood title. The car is not flooded at all. So I have to get that corrected unless someone wants to buy it with a flood title that's not real. Anyway, I'll get that fixed. $16,000 if you're interested, just let me know. It's an awesome car. All right, CL65. This has just been a nightmare for my entire life. Hang on, it's getting too loud out there. But if you guys have been watching the channel for many years, you know I bought this from Hoovie. It was very broken. I got it for $10,000. And that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted to fix everything and make it a cool car because I've always wanted one of these twin turbo AMG V12 cars. And I did fix what was broken, you know, at the time that Hoovie had it, which primarily was an O-ring, like a $1 O-ring, which required me to disassemble like the whole engine to replace. So I did that, fixed that. It had a bad ABC pump. I put that in, and then I went down just a nightmare of ABC issues because an accumulator ball with rubber in it blew up and sent rubber throughout the whole system. It was horrible. Fixed all of that, and at the time of the engine, I had installed larger turbochargers and ported heads and stuff like that. And now I've just been battling an issue, which I think is back pressure at this point. But basically at wide open throttle, it goes into limp mode. And yeah, if you guys have been watching those videos, you know, it's just been a nightmare. So the thing runs and drives beautifully. Like you can drive it from Chicago to California with no issues at all. It's only when you go wide open throttle for more than a few seconds and then it cuts out. So that's my CL65 in a nutshell. And at this point, whenever I get the courage to work on it, like every month or so, I'll be like, all right, let me pick away at something. And then it ultimately doesn't work. And then I just feel defeated and yeah, so. That's about it. Next up is my 2000 ML55 AMG Overland / off-roader built thing. Me and OJ from Fluid Motor Union did a ton of work on this to make it what it is now, and it sits in my awesome Mission trailer outside. This thing runs and drives and is in great shape. It just needs an axle boot from a little off-roading accident that we had where a nut came off of the upper control arm.
Oh, there it goes. Oh, look out, look out. Here we go.
Look at this, the nut is gone. But I fixed that, and yeah, axle boot, and this thing is ready to crawl. All right, it's getting loud again. I don't know if it's actually ready to crawl. It's not like a rock crawler. It still has independent rear suspension and open diff, so it's not like that serious, but it does very well off-road. It's super comfortable. The AC works. It's got like a nice Bose stereo and heated leather seats and stuff like that. And it was only $3,800, so definitely not selling that one. It's not worth a whole lot, and it's just too much fun. I'll trailer it to an off-road park. We'll rip it all weekend and just trailer it back, and then the trailer's gonna take up a parking spot out there anyway, so might as well have something on it, and that's what I put on it. Next up is my LS swapped 1999 Porsche 911, and I actually have a potential buyer that just pulled up right now. He drove 12 hours to see the car because he wanted to put down a deposit. He just wanted to buy it sight unseen. And I'm like, dude, I don't recommend anyone buy anything sight unseen. I do it all the time, but you shouldn't. I'm like, you should really come out here if you're serious. It's an expensive car. And he said, okay, I'll be there in a few days. And I'm like, oh, where are you coming from? He's like, Texas. I'm like, what? So he's driving here. I mean, he's right here. So let's go meet him. All right, he pulled up in a Tacoma. So, you know, he wanted to make it, of course. You got to drive a Toyota. Mike,
Alex,
how are you?
Good, man.
How was your drive?
Straight from Texas, 15 hours.
Nice. You want to go see this car?
Let's do it.
There she is. The Carrera LS. It should be LSC. I got to add the C. I'm just kidding.
Just like the videos.
That's right. So yeah, totally custom wide body. The heart of the beast, all aluminum LS1. So Mike has seen all the videos on this car. And typically when someone emails me about one of my cars, I'm like, the first question, did you watch all the videos? Because like literally I put everything about the cars in all the videos. And sometimes I even forget, like if it's been a year, they might ask me a question. I'll be like, dude, I'm gonna go back to the video. So Mike's like, I've watched them all. He really likes it.
I do. Oh, this car's stupid. Oh my God. Look at this. And actually these seats are nice too.
Yeah, they're actually really cushioned up and they feel great driving down the road. For like race seats, they're super cool. It's got no back seat. That's the new black hatch that I'm gonna install, which I think will look great because of the black roof and the black accents. Mm-hmm. You know, drives straight as an arrow.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Dang, that thing is wide.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the definition of wide body for sure.
Absolutely.
Let me show you what I have left on the car because I'm not selling it until it's complete. So Mike was talking about leaving a deposit, you know, which is fine, but I'm still finishing the series on this car, which was to make it more of a legit street car. After fixing everything, the overheating issues that we had where the fans didn't work and all sorts of other things. And after OJ did his awesome exhaust, which sounds like this. I decided this car just needs power steering and air conditioning to be complete. Then, you know, you could drive it whenever you want. So what we have from my guys over at Renegade Hybrids that made the kit for the LS, this is an electric power steering pump that we're gonna be installing. And this is an AC compressor and bracket. And I was talking to you a little bit about, I might have to switch up some of the accessories to an LS3 for everything to line up. Then we'll do the intake, the hatch, and hopefully that'll close. It doesn't currently close. And then that's it. This thing is ready. It's ready to go. So you got to follow along and see if I make it. But, oh, and then we're going to get it tuned.
You got it. Well, hopefully one day I'll have a new home.
You want to go for a quick ride?
Let's do it.
Sounds pretty good.
Sounds ridiculous.
It is so much fun, and the transmission is like buttery smooth and perfect. OJ did such a good job on the exhaust.
That's incredible. Oh my God.
It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
Oh my God. It's like a go-kart with a dragster motor.
Oh, totally. It handles so well. Like the radio works, but like I never use it.
Right.
With this sound, it's like that's all I want to listen to.
Sounds of OJ.
That's right. You did it right with this one. Oh, and you know what? One of my favorite parts is you would think with these like really low profile tires and a racing suspension that it would be rough like on bumps and stuff. But hang on, we got a train track coming up. Check this out. It's really cool. Under a bridge, we had to do that. I mean, that's mandatory in this car, but
Absolutely.
hang on. So all right, so we got some tracks coming up. Watch this.
That was too smooth.
It's crazy, right?
That's too smooth.
The shocks on this car, they have reservoirs. They're like, I think they're like $6,000. Like they didn't cut any corners. I'm like a salesman right now, guys, but I'm really not. This is how I explain cars to everybody, especially cool ones.
This thing's selling itself.
Right?
Love it.
You want to drive?
Sure.
Cool. All right. So, yep, you got it, man. It's ready. It's got a heavy aftermarket clutch. Grip's great. This is gonna be a tough one for me to sell. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this thing is pretty cool.
Well, hopefully we can convince you.
I mean, you drove all the way out here, so it's definitely, if you want it, it's yours, but it'll be, you know, a couple of months, honestly, before I'm really done, because I want to get it fully tuned. Everything's got to be functional. I want to put test mileage on it and make sure it's like a real car. You know, you see a lot of TV cars and stuff are kind of fake. You know, they make things look good, but they don't really, they don't really function like, I want this to really function like all my cars, so.
Perfect.
So what do you have in the performance world now?
You're looking at a 2014 Tahoe. That's it.
And that, what'd you do to that one?
Made it a Overlander.
Oh, cool. Have you ever had a Porsche?
Nope.
Have you ever had LS powered stuff outside of, you know, the Tahoes?
Many years ago, we had a Chevelle and a Corvette.
Oh, okay. What year Corvette?
It was a 97.
Oh, it's the first year of the C5.
Had a lot of Fords, Mustangs too. Some of the Fox body, that one you did,
Yeah.
I had the exact same car, dude.
Nice. Oh, this will definitely be right up your alley, but it's like a combo
Perfect.
of everything.
This thing's amazing.
And so you like it?
Love it.
Was it worth the 13-hour drive?
It's like Christmas morning.
Now, if you buy it, are you gonna fly and drive it back, or are you gonna trailer?
I'll trailer it.
Okay.
I'll trailer it.
I think you could drive it back, but you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Might be a little rough with the seats, but all right. Well, thanks, brother. Are you like literally turning around and going back right
I
now?
have a meeting to go to, and then I'm gonna fart around for a little bit, and I'm out of
Okay.
here. Yeah, but
All right.
definitely gonna
Cool.
jump on the road.
Mike, everybody, hopefully we'll see him in another video at some point if he buys the car. If not, good luck with the Tahoe. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Thanks, bud.
I think that's all of the cars I have for sale. So to recap, that is for sale. This will be for sale. The LS Porsche is for sale. The Cobra Mustang's for sale. And the Caprice is for sale too. And once I fix it, the CL will be for sale too. Man, I gotta say, I didn't realize how many cars I have for sale. It's quite a bit. Next up is my 2009 Nissan GTR. And before we get to the update, I actually have to go surprise a subscriber down the street. So I get these emails every so often and it still just honestly amazes me. But people want to come by and meet me, see the shop and see the cars and stuff like that. And a lot of times I get these emails from people's girlfriends or wives, and it just typically doesn't work out with scheduling, and I really can't have anyone in the shop due to insurance reasons. But these people sounded so awesome, and she explained that he's been watching all my videos forever, and it's his birthday and it would mean the world to him if he could meet me. So I'm like, okay, I gotta make this happen. So I'm like, message me the day before and I'll meet you like down the street and we'll just surprise him. So they're just like hanging out and I'm just gonna pull up. And she also asked, can you give him a ride in something? I'm like, yeah, I'll give him a ride in something. So we're gonna take the GTR, let's go surprise him. And because you guys are nice enough to watch this update video, you get a sneak peek or a sneak sound peek to the new GTR exhaust. So that video doesn't come out for another couple of weeks, but it is done right now. I'm not done with that video. I still have a lot of work to do, but OJ did the exhaust. It's awesome. I'll let you hear it from inside. You gotta wait for that video though for the drive-by footage and to see the actual work. It's insane. The exhaust is, oh my gosh, guys, wait for that one. Are you Doug? Oh my gosh, it's Doug. What's up, man? You got an awesome girlfriend or wife? Girlfriend. She's awesome. Did she tell you anything? Nope. Hang on, I'm gonna pull over real quick. No pressure on Doug that I just said wife or girlfriend. I turned into a wife. What's up, man? Steph told me you watch a lot of the videos.
Oh yeah.
I appreciate that.
Oh yeah.
What are you doing out here?
Nothing. She told me to come out.
Hey. Thanks for setting it up. Nice to meet you in person. So this is Doug, everybody, and he's got a Subaru that runs and drives over an hour here, which is rare. You don't see that too often. So
Just getting it running and driving, what, the night before last?
no, what'd you do to it?
It was shaking really bad. It wasn't throwing any codes or nothing, so I kind of did motor mounts on it, did spark plugs, and then finally got a cylinder 3 misfire code, so I ended up putting a new coil pack on it.
Oh, man, you got away with murder then. Steph had mentioned to drive by in something and that maybe you'd want to go for a ride. I don't know if you've seen any of the videos on the GTR, but I just got it back with a new exhaust, and you would be like the first person I showed this exhaust to. So you want to go for a quick spin? All right, cool.
I've been trying to ask her questions about it for a while.
Like about what?
Just like where we're going, like see if she would tell me like what town or anything it was. She wouldn't even tell me what direction we were going to be going.
So is it your birthday today?
Next Saturday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm out of town, so I think that's why she had to set it up, you know, for now. But here's the GTR. I got you LegitStreetCars t-shirt. Happy birthday. And yeah, I just got this back from OJ over at Fluid. I don't know if you've seen any of the exhaust work that they do. They've done a few of my cars, like the LS
I've
swap.
seen you take your cars there before.
Yeah, so he just got done with this. The video's not even out yet, so you're getting the first, you know, ride outside of me and OJ.
I've never actually even been in a GTR. Yeah, I can see getting into some trouble with one of these.
Yeah, a little bit. It rips, man. But your car's probably making some decent power too. I'm assuming you got it modded, right?
A little bit. I've just got a few bolt-ons and a tune on it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this thing is just amazing, and it's got a multi-stage exhaust system now, so this is just one of the modes, and everybody out there will see all the modes in the GTR exhaust video where I do a bunch of other stuff too. It's definitely a fun car. It's only my second Japanese car, really. I mean, I have my Eclipse, which half the people out there claim is American because it was built in Normal, Illinois.
Yeah, when I was 18, I had a 97 Eclipse RS.
Oh, nice.
So it was still the 5-speed, but it had the junk 420, the non-turbo.
Yeah, right. Still some DSM power right there.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like addicting.
It is.
It's so easy in this car,
Yeah.
you know, with the dual stage, you know, whatever clutch transmission thingy. I can't even talk when I'm in this when I'm ripping in this.
Oh, I can imagine.
All right, so what else do you guys have planned for today?
She said we're going to be going out to, I guess, Woodfield Mall and doing an escape room, I guess.
Oh, I've done that.
Have you?
Yeah.
We've never done one before. So.
I'm bad at it. I was trapped. I couldn't escape. I don't know if you guys have ever done these escape rooms where you got to like figure out clues and stuff, and eventually I just kind of sat there and I'm like, can we get some drinks? I'm like, I'm in here. That's it. Oh, man. Love the sound. All right, so there is the GTR for you.
Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. This color is just awesome, man. I'm a big sucker for blue cars. It's like all I want now.
Well, yeah, my favorite color is blue, so it's always been.
Yeah.
I love the blue color as well, and it's oddly enough, I'm pretty sure this is actually my first blue car I've ever owned.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
I had never, yeah, mine was a blue 335 BMW. I think that was my first, and then ever since then I got like 2 blue Teslas, and I want everything blue. Except for my red GTR. I don't know if they make one in blue or not, but thanks for coming out, Doug.
Oh,
Seriously, happy birthday.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Have fun at the escape room. Don't get too trapped.
I say hopefully there's a time limit so we don't have to stay there overnight. But.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, hopefully this summer I'll have a meetup. So, I'll let you guys know if you want to come out. We'll do a big subscriber meetup. You can bring your car. I'm trying to get a gigantic, parking lot where we can all have our cars and hang out and eat food.
I watched the video of
Cannonball?
Yep. Arnie's there.
Yeah, we'll do another one just like that. So, okay. Cool. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it, man. All right, talk to you.
Nice to meet you.
All right, well, you guys have a little bit of a GTR update there, or more like a sneak peek of the exhaust. And in that video, I'm also doing a bunch of other performance modifications, and then it's eventually gonna go to AMS. I have to bring it there in like a week because they're gonna use it as a guinea pig to design from the ground up a flex fuel system for the GTR, their own. So that'll be really, really cool. So lots of modifications going on with the GTR. But you guys know that car. I won it at auction because it had a transmission issue, but it really didn't, and the odometer was wrong and all sorts of stuff. I got a pretty decent deal on it, and now we're modifying it, and then I'll be doing a bunch of cosmetics. I ordered wheels 2 months ago. They're forged wheels. It's gonna be awesome. So that's a keeper. No plans on selling the GTR, and I think I've hit every car that I currently own except for the DeLorean, which I don't have right now. It's actually at DeLorean Midwest right now. If you guys saw the last DeLorean video, I did the exhaust manifold studs and a bunch of other work there, and it was going great. And then I went to drive it home a few days later, and it was misfiring really bad, and I didn't feel comfortable driving it. So instead of going back and forth, it's like an hour away. I just asked Mike to take a look at it, and he found a totally dead fuel injector. So he's got a new injector that's going in, and yeah, I'll get the DeLorean back. That's definitely a keeper, not selling that. And if there's any other cars that I missed, some that you may not have seen an update on that I've sold already, just let me know in the comments and I'll try to respond, or someone else will probably as well. But every single car that's ever been on the channel has been updated in one of these videos, or if you just go to the playlists and you go to the last video, sometimes it's like the detail video, you'll know kind of like what happened, to that car. But anyway, that is a gigantic shop car update for all of you guys. I hope you really enjoyed this video, and if you did, give it a big thumbs up, share the video with your friends and family, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and most importantly, have an awesome day. I'll see all of you in the next video. And then another quote here. I used it to travel to car shows, to the drag strip, and for whatever. Here's another quote. I bought it out in, where did I buy this thing? The head is actually pretty. So the plan was to get this thing tuned, and then it would be mechanically done, and then it would start at the, so the plan was to be, no power steering yet. Ah!